grew up in Garland, Texas, and the Vaughn brothers were in Oak Cliff, and there was a music store in Garland, Texas, Arnold and Morgan Music, where I hung out all the time. And I met so many people there early on, and one of my first musical heroes was Freddie King. And I didn't realize until I got away from Texas and got to California and then Tennessee how strong a style, DFW style guitar playing was. You don't know what you got until you get away from it sometimes.
Some days you write the song.
I didn't start writing songs until later on. I was probably 18 or so, and I started playing really young. I've told the story about being 10 years old and going to see Love Me Tender with my mother, and she bought me a plastic guitar that was stashed in the back of the car. And after the movie, I tore into that and started playing guitar early, but I didn't actually start writing songs until my first year of college, and then I moved to Hollywood when I was 20 and got not a very good publishing deal, but started writing songs in earnest then because it was a way to get paid for doing it.
Every part of you was in your song.
After first being resistant to the Beatles, thinking they were copying Chuck Berry and Little Richard too much and everything, when I finally realized that the song value in Beatles music, that hit me really hard, and I think that was an influence. But you can't grow up in Texas without being influenced by Willie Nelson. And my parents would go and see Willie and Ray Price over at Panther Hall. Now, I was growing up in Garland, and they had some of those records, and that was an early influence. And then when I really started playing country music, I started out being kind of a blues nerd when I was a teenager. But when I just discovered country music, it was Merle Haggard that just blew me away. I mean, I still revere Merle as being one of the greatest songwriters of all time.
Oh, that's the thing about love.
Well, the first #1 record I ever had was Don Williams, and that was in 1985. That was a song that got us out of the worst rent house in Nashville and got the family going. But any chance I have to express gratitude for an opportunity goes to Jim Ed Norman, who was in my band in the early 70s in California, and we went to school together at North Texas for a while. And so when Jim Ed was doing Urban Cowboy soundtrack, he asked me for a song, and that song was Jukebox Argument by Mickey Gilley. It was in the Urban Cowboy movie, and that was my chance to go to Nashville. That was my foot in the door.
Honey, I fall and feel like flying for a little while. Funny, I fall and feels like flying for a little while. You never see it coming till it's gone. It all happens for a reason, even when it's wrong.
Yeah, I didn't really co-write much until I got to Nashville in 1980. And it was only then that I realized that guys got up every morning, drank their coffee, went to work, and wrote songs all day. And a lot of that was collaborative. And I got in the Nashville scene and started co-writing with all these great writers there. And that's about 80% of what I do now is co-writing, working with artists and other writers.
He moved to Nashville about 3 years before I did. So every time I was through Nashville, which was quite a bit, I'd call him up and we'd get together, and Gary and I started writing together, and it's been really good.
It's a bridge you can't cross.
It's always been the writing. I mean, that's the activity that I can't resist it. You know, if I don't write a song intentionally for a while, some kind of song is going to come through, you know, whether I have anything to do with it or not.
Gary is relentless. Gary wakes up every morning with either a hook or a groove, and a song is going to be written that day. So you just go position yourself at your instrument and go to work, because that's what Gary does.
Oh, the trouble with the truth is
Well, I think Trouble with the Truth is one of my favorite songs, just because I feel like I really accomplished what I was trying to do with that song. It's personal to me, and it's so rare that you find, you know, that's one of those songs that just kind of appeared. It's like I didn't really have anything to do with writing it, you know. It's like it just kind of came through the air, and it was there, but it represented a lot of what I aspired to as a writer. You know, there's all these people that have recorded the songs that I was in the company of a guy from Germany, and he said, "Well, who's recorded your songs? You're a songwriter." I said, "Well, do you know about George Strait and Garth Brooks and Dixie Chicks and Willie Nelson?" And I named all these names, and he didn't know anybody. And I finally got to B.B. King, and he recognized that.
more love. I can hear our hearts crying, more love. And now that's all we need, more love. To flow in between us, to take us and hold us, lift us, save us. If there's ever an answer, it's more love.
Well, I'm just so completely honored to be included with all these amazing writers that I've revered my whole life, you know, and it's especially sweet that Leroy and Delbert and Bruce, that we're all being honored this way. It's unbelievable to me.